Welcome to the July 10, 2024 regular meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 4:30 p.m. I will now call the meeting to order and take roll, and we're all present. Board members, please make sure when you comment your microphones are on, and remember to talk directly into the microphone. The Board of Directors will meet in closed session to discuss the following item. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, Agency Negotiators, Special Legal Counsel John Paquette, Atkinson, Andelson, Loya, Rudd, and Romo, Fire Chief Dave Williams, Human Resource Director Anthony Arroyo, and Finance Director Mark Shaker. Employee organizations, Chino Valley Professional Firefighters Local 3522 Safety Unit, Teamsters Local 1932 Non-Safety Unit, and unrepresented management, confidential, and part-time employees. Do we have any public comments on the closed session item?
We have no public comments.
Thank you. I will now adjourn the open session to closed session. We will return to open session at 6 p.m. Welcome to the July 10, 2024 regular board meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 6 p.m. and we will now begin the meeting and take roll. And we're all here, we're all present. Legal counsel, please report out a closed session.
Thank you, Board President Luth. There's no reportable action.
Thank you. If you'd all please rise and join Director DeMonico in the flag salute, and then please remain standing for the invocation.
Please join me in saluting the greatest flag of the greatest country in the world. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For those so inclined, please bow your heads with me in prayer. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the honor and the privilege of being able to pray for the board meeting and all those present tonight. Lord, we ask for your strength, wisdom, guidance, and direction as we continue to deal with the stresses and challenges of building a new firehouse and incorporating the ambulance service within our district. With that, we thank you for the blessing of sending us new hires we recognize tonight. They are the cream of the crop, those with a heart to serve our communities and make a difference in people's lives. Lord, we thank you for the blessing and honor to recognize those who are being promoted for their hard work and dedication tonight. It's such an encouragement to see those who sacrifice so much and embody the excellence, integrity, faithfulness, and respect that bind us together. First Chronicle tells us that you rejoice when you find integrity in our hearts. And with that, Lord, we ask that you would continue to watch over our first responders and especially their families who have made great sacrifices so their spouses are able to serve our fire district. Lord, we come to you in thankfulness for the many years of service given by our recent retirees. We thank you for the long-term contributions they have made and for the sharing of their experiences and wisdom with others. Lord, we pray that you would continue blessing on them during this next phase of their lives. May your presence be with them as they choose new paths and explore new horizons. And lastly, Father, I pray that you would help our first responders, our administrators, and our board members to dwell in your shadow. May you always be their protection, comfort, and refuge in difficult situations. May they trust in you completely, moment by moment. Show them your power when they find themselves in unsafe situations, and keep them safe for the glory of your name. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Clerk of the board, do we have any changes to the agenda?
We have no changes to the agenda today. Welcome, everyone. The first item on our agenda is presentations and announcements. And our first presentation is a presentation for Station 68 by California State Assembly Member Freddie Rodriguez.
Well, I couldn't make it on the official groundbreaking of Fire Station 68. I wanted to come here to give thanks and appreciate all the hard work you've done. I know, Chief, we've been on the phone many times talking about the future of the department, the need of the station, obviously for ambulance service that we're talking about. As a former first responder myself, some of you may not know, I have a son that's a deputy sheriff, another one that's a firefighter, another one that's a respiratory therapist. So public safety, healthcare work is in my family, it's in my blood. I've worked in ambulance for over 30 years, so I know how important it is to have the resources. And I think this $6.2 million check is going to be well-deserved, not just for the department, the community, and the region entirely, right? I chair emergency management for the state of California, so I know how important it is to have the resources. But it takes the relationships working together that know that this money is going to be used for the well purposes, right, to once again protect this whole community. Thanks to all the firefighters, the board of directors, chief, all the men and women, the families for being here. It's an honor to present this check to the department once again. Sorry couldn't make it, but I'm here now to present it to you in this state, in this fashion. And thanks again, Chief, and everybody for all the hard work you do. And here you go for the check.
We're talking about relationships. Let's bring up the union president and vice president. Come on up here because this was a collaborative effort. And so we wanted to thank all of our personnel that engaged. We thank you. We want to thank you so much as you understand the value of this for our organization. Again, this is a regional approach to things, and we're so very thankful. This will help us the high level of expectations and commitment to our community. We're very thankful. We did miss you, but we wanted to bring this to you to say, hey, this is your official shovel. We appreciate it, and we appreciate everything you've done for us.
Well, the first time I met Freddie, he was speaking to the Chino Kiwanis Club. You were running for the first time. And the things you talked about, you've lived into and demonstrated by your support of this district. We appreciate all your support. Well, thank you. And certainly the check. Thank you.
It's going to be a little hard to deposit that, though.
We'll find a way.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, and Freddie's wife is running for his seat, so,
so hopefully
when you go to the polls, remember that?
So there you go.
The next item on our agenda is new employee introductions, and we invite Ashley Guzman to please come forward.
Ashley Guzman resides in Ontario with her husband, their two sons, aged 6 and 3, and their dog. She joins us from the City of Pomona Water Resources Department, where she worked as a program assistant, providing administrative support to management staff and assisting in budget development. Ashley loves spending time outdoors with her family, enjoying activities such as watching her kids play sports, ride bikes, and skateboard. She is a fan of sunshine, good food, and country music. Currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in business administration, Ashley aims to transfer to one of the CSU schools in spring 2025. Excited to enter the world of fire services, Ashley is eager to learn from the best and hopes to be a reliable asset to the district. Please join us in welcoming Ashley Guzman as the new administrative assistant.
Like always, when we get folks here this caliber, we're so blessed. It's just a reminder to all the hard work that everybody that's already here is doing. So we're so happy to have you. I've been in 2 meetings with you, and it's I've already had this conversation with Deputy Chief Alt. It was very quickly, and I was like, wow, we really scored once again. So thank you to all the folks that help draw people in, and thank you for your willingness to come and join this organization. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Next, we will introduce the Chino Valley Fire District new firefighters and paramedics.
All right, tonight we are pleased to welcome and introduce to the community our new firefighter paramedics. When I call your name, please come forward. Jake Arnett, Saul Cuevas, Dylan Darrow, Dylan Heckel, Addison Hempstead, Ryan Pierce, and Nick Truelove. Now I will turn it over to Deputy Chief Skibar for introductions.
Thank you, President Luth, directors, staff, and community. Good evening. I'm honored to stand before you today to introduce our newly recruited firefighters. This is a significant moment for the Chino Valley Fire District, our communities, and the brave individuals who have chosen to dedicate their lives to serve and protecting others. As you know, the role of a firefighter is one of the most noble and challenging professions. It demands courage, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to public service. Our recruits have demonstrated these qualities throughout their rigorous training and have shown that they possess the heart and spirit of the Chino Valley Fire and their vital role. Beginning on May 27th, these individuals have undergone an extensive and demanding training program designed to prepare them for the many challenges they will face in the line of duty. They have learned not only the technical skills required to combat fires and perform rescues, but also the importance of teamwork, leadership, and community engagement. Their training has covered a wide range of critical areas, which include suppression, emergency medicine, including becoming acquainted with our cardiac care program, and search and rescue operations. They have been tested physically, mentally, and emotionally, ensuring that they are ready to respond to emergencies and with the highest level of professionalism and efficiency. It is important to recognize the support and guidance provided by our experienced firefighters and training officers. Their mentorship has been invaluable in shaping our recruits into capable and confident firefighters. The dedication and expertise of our team have been instrumental in preparing these new members to uphold the proud traditions and values of the district, which are faithfulness, integrity, respect, and excellence. As we welcome these new recruits into our ranks, we do so with great confidence in their abilities and deep appreciation for their willingness to serve. They joined a long line of firefighters who have selflessly protected our community, and I have no doubt that they will continue to uphold this legacy, and with honor and distinction. They will complete the academy on July 25th and receive their station assignments on that day. I would now like to introduce our new recruit firefighters. Jacob Arnett. Jake lives in Newport and comes from a large family. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, he worked at AMR Redlands. Jake enjoys snow and water skiing, photography, running, and cooking. During the summer, you'll find him going to Lake Powell for houseboating trips, but not until after probation. Thank you. Saul Cuevas. He lived in San Marcos, Texas, with his wife, 3 kids, and grandchild. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, he worked at Travis County EMS in Austin, Texas. Sal enjoys spending time with his family, playing sports, and coaching his children's team. However, he is busy at the moment studying for the next test. He won't be doing that. Dylan Darrow. Dylan currently lives in Santa Ana, but originally grew up in Needles, where his parents still reside. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, he worked at Baker EMS, AMR Redlands, and San Bernardino County Fire. Dylan enjoys going to the gym, traveling, hiking, going to the beach to surf, and spending time by the river after probation. So Dylan is a certified strength and conditioning specialist and possesses a bachelor's in kinesiology from Cal State San Bernardino. Dylan is currently engaged to his fiancée. Dylan Heckel. So Dylan lives in Irvine and has many family members in Orange County. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, he worked as a firefighter at the University Fire Department in Fairbanks, Alaska, and as a paramedic for Riverside, or AMR Riverside. Dylan loves all types of movies, TV shows, and video games. He enjoys spending time with his family, friends, and girlfriend. Some hobbies include traveling, hiking, exercising, playing tennis, but again, after probation. Addison Hempstead. Addison lives in Huntington Beach while his family lives in Northern California. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, he worked at AMR Riverside. Addison loves playing all kinds of sports, especially beach sports, enjoys hiking in his free time, but does not have much of that at the moment. So he also has a background in wrestling and a passion for staying active and fit. Ryan Pierce. Ryan lives in Covina, California, but before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, he worked at Livingston Fire and Rescue in Montana near Yellowstone National Park. Ryan loves spending time in the great outdoors, trail running, hiking, camping, and hunting, but will enjoy it more after probation, right? He has a twin sister who he is very close to. And Nicholas Truelove. Nick lives in Costa Mesa with his wife Delaney. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, he worked at Montebello Fire Department. Before the academy, Nick loved hanging out with his friends, mountain biking, going to the beach, and trying out new foods. He will resume those fun things after probation. But he will even be busier in August as Nick and his wife are expecting their first child. So please welcome our new firefighters.
Chino Valley Fire District has a long history of having high standards and high expectations. All of the reports that have come back early are phenomenal about this group of men in this case. Meet your community, family members, we want to thank you in advance. Probation will be tough. It's a long haul, but I can assure you, because I've had the opportunity to be employed at other fire organizations, they've joined the best family in the fire service. I promise you that. There's no better organization. So, gentlemen, welcome. We expect high things from you, and we're happy to have you, and we're hearing a lot of really good things. So, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you, Chief.
Can you follow it this way for? Got it.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is promotion, recognition, and badge pinning. We invite engineer Jason Farnsworth to please come forward.
Jason Farnsworth started with the Chino Valley Fire District in July 2011. He graduated from Etiwanda High School in 2000. He graduated from Mount Sac College in 2003 with an Associates of Science degree in Fire Science. Jason completed his paramedic training in 2004 through Crafton Hills College. Prior to his current position at Chino Valley Independent Fire District, Jason worked for CAL FIRE from 2005 to 2011. Jason is currently a member of the Section 115 Committee, USAR Team, Uniform Committee, Callback Committee, and the Peer Support Team with Chino Valley Fire. Jason resides in Upland with his wife and 3 children. On June 29th of this year, Jason was promoted to the rank of engineer and is currently assigned to C shift for Station 67. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Jason as the district's newest engineer.
Jason, we're so proud of you. Jason is just given tremendous commitment to this organization. He served on our e-board. He takes care of a lot of our uniform needs for our whole organization. What you'll find is every person that we invite up here, they're involved in some way or another, and those are extra things. So Jason came to us from CAL FIRE with a high level of expertise and experience, and it's been nonstop ever since. So Jason, I'd ask you today who you'd like to pin your badge. Like to hand that to me.
One of these 3.
One of these 3.
All 3.
I'm not picking that.
Let's do it. You guys both do it.
Here you go.
This is life.
Okay, that's good. Chief.
We need Let Grandma take a picture. Okay, ready? Smile. Okay, wait, check. All right. Hold still. Hold still.
Look over here. Over here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good job.
Okay.
Okay, what's the mic?
Next, we invite engineer Ian Haddad to please come forward.
Ian Haddad was hired by the Chino Valley Fire District in June 2008. For many years, Ian participated in the community CPR program and served as a CPR instructor for the district. Ian participates in multiple district and community events as well as advising young aspiring firefighters for the district's Fire Explorer program. Ian serves on the Chino Valley Fire District's Honor Guard as well as Pipes and Drums. Ian also was a member of the Chino Valley Fire District's Staffing Committee and Traditions Committee. Ian currently resides in Murrieta with his wife Danielle, his 6-year-old daughter Molly, his 4-year-old son Mason, and his 2-year-old daughter Madison. On May 18th of this year, Ian was promoted to the rank of engineer and is currently assigned to C shift for Station 64. Please join me in congratulating and welcome Ian as the district's newest engineer.
Before I ask Ian who he wants to bring up, Ian is a really good friend of mine. I had about 15 years on the job when I came to Chino Valley, and then I had Ian come as a new guy with no experience to my knowledge. And we had some experiences with our crew at the time that we couldn't do anything but look across the seat from one another while our two folks were behaving the way they're behaving, and just lots of memories that we'll carry going forward. Ian, so happy for you. Congratulations. You slayed the test. I'm proud of you. And who would you like to pin you today?
My wife, Danielle. Yeah.
Yeah, bring them all up. Congratulations. Appreciate you.
Next, we invite Engineer J.R. Ryan to please come forward.
Edwin J.R. Ryan was hired with the Chino Valley Fire District on July 2007 as a firefighter paramedic. J.R. grew up in Rancho Cucamonga and graduated from Etiwanda High School. He attended Mount San Antonio College and Crafton Hills College. J.R. currently resides in the city of Upland with his wife Bree and their daughter Eden. Prior to his promotion with Chino Valley Fire, J.R. worked for the city of Laverne for 3 years as a firefighter paramedic. During his tenure with the fire district, J.R. has served 10 years as a member of the executive board of the Chino Valley Fire Professional Firefighters Local 3522, in which he was president for 8 years. On July 29 of this year, J.R. was promoted to the rank of engineer and is currently assigned to A shift for Station 66. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming J.R. as the district's newest engineer.
As you heard, the level of commitment is just beyond. So what I'm going to say is, don't take too long for the next step. Let's start there. But JR, thank you very much. You came here a couple months before me, and I can attribute a lot of my success to hooking up with you, being around Station 61, understanding some of the culture around here, and thank you very much for all your commitment to this organization. I know you care deeply about this organization, this community, so for that I'm very, very thankful, and I appreciate you. And who would you like to come up? My wife, Bree, daughter. All right, we're going to do this, and she's coming up. Ready? Let's do this together. See, my glasses are not as good looking as yours. You happy? Are you happy?
Next, we invite Captain Robert Pope to please come forward.
That sounds good. Bobby Pope began his career at Chino Valley Fire in 2010 and currently resides in the city of Rancho Cucamonga. Bobby graduated from Victor Valley High School in 2002. He attended Victor Valley Community College and completed his paramedic schooling in 2005. Bobby's prior experiences includes Fire Explorer, paid call firefighter for San Bernardino County Fire Department, AMR paramedic, and firefighter paramedic for the city of Rialto. Bobby promoted to engineer on December 21, 2019. In his personal life, Bobby enjoys spending time outdoors with his family. He enjoys hunting, fishing, camping, and recreational sports. On June 29, Bobby was promoted to the rank of captain and is currently leading the A shift for Station 62. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Bobby as the district's newest captain.
you something? How does that sound? Yeah, it's a big fella here. I was fortunate enough, when I promoted to captain, Bobby was my first firefighter, so Bobby and I have a long history together. I can tell you firsthand the work that Bobby has put in to get to this place today. Been through this process at least once, twice, maybe. Again, I can tell firsthand. I've watched him work off his work hours to get prepared for this. So, Bob, I couldn't be more happy for you. I know that your family is super happy for you, and I'm very proud of you. So, congratulations, and I'm assuming your family wants to come up and pin.
Hi, honey.
Come on, Sal.
And his son's 10, and he's almost taller than me. Hold your boy.
He just turned 9.
Just 9. Okay. Awesome.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we invite Captain Brian Wofford to please come forward.
Brian Wofford started his career with the Chino Valley Fire District as an explorer in January 1994. He transitioned to a support services technician in September 1997, and then a fire reserve in January 1999. He was hired as a firefighter paramedic in July 2001. He attended Crafton Hills College and completed his paramedic schooling in 2000. On August 18, 2011, Brian was promoted to engineer. Brian currently lives in the city of Rancho Cucamonga with his girlfriend Michelle and children Marissa 20 and Aiden 13. In his off-duty time, Brian enjoys going on trips to Glamis, camping, traveling, pickleball, and spending time with his friends and family. On June 19, Brian was promoted to the rank of captain and is currently leading the C shift for Station 65. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Brian as the district's newest captain.
What can I say about Brian? Brian, I know this was a long journey for you as well. What I can say from your management team is anytime you've been asked to do anything, you've listened and you've responded. You've earned this, and so I'm really, really happy to be able to ask you to bring up whatever family member you'd like to be. Congratulations, we're so proud.
Thank you. I have a few people I want to bring up.
Bring them up.
Michelle, kids, Franny, Mark, come up here. Bill and Frank, come up here.
Oh, I didn't see Frank sitting there. Franklin. Yeah. Bill, I didn't see him. Hey guys, hi, how are you? So where are we going?
She's nervous. Who wants to do it?
First they wanted me to choose for the little ones, now they want me to choose. As he's pinning the badge, for those of you that don't know, we have a retired fire captain up here, Bill Heitman, and the one that just pinned the badge is a retired engineer with Chino Valley. So again, this is a family. Once you come into this family, it's forever. So obviously they have a lot of ton of respect, and they're proud of Brian, so they've come back to honor him with his family. And, oh, sorry, newly retired Mark Marini. Captain. Sure. Don't be giving him any advice, Frank.
Before we move on to the next item, may we please have back all of the individuals who were here for promotions: Engineer Farnsworth, Engineer Haddad, Engineer Ryan, Captain Pope, and Captain Warford for a group photo.
We need to get JR real quick.
We did too.
Hold on a second. Let me see that badge.
Thank you.
They always said the pictures were for your family, not for you. So.
Next, we have the retirement recognition, and we invite Captain Arnold Clement to please come forward.
Captain Arnold Clement was hired by the Chino Valley Fire District in June 2008 as firefighter paramedic. Was promoted to engineer in August 2011 and then promoted to fire captain in March 2021. Arnold played an active role in the Chino Valley Fire District in serving the community as well as his fellow firefighters. Arnold has maintained his state paramedic license for 35 years and has served the district as a paramedic preceptor. He has served on training committees, participated in engineering mentor programs, engineer promotional testing, and new hire orientations. Arnold had also administered the district's fire extinguisher maintenance program for the past 12 years. He has been a fire line medic for 9 years and will complete his 33rd year in the fire service this summer. Arnold currently resides in San Bernardino with his wife Tammy, and they have 3 adult children, Darla, Christian, and Jenna Destiny. Arnold was last assigned to Medic Engine 62 A shift. Congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for your 16 years of service with the district, Arnold.
So sometimes life doesn't allow us to go through the process that we think we should be able to go through. I know that Arnold is leaving a little bit prematurely for some of his own desires. I had the chance to work with Arnold. He was my engineer in my last captain's assignment. And when I heard Arnie was coming to me, I was like, oh boy.
In a good way.
What I did know is he actually taught me more, I think, in many ways than I taught him. He's a man of faith, he's a man of integrity, and he's a man of high standards. And it's those standards that, in my new roles, that I really appreciate who you are. More importantly, I appreciate your friendship. When Arnie was trying to make the decision as to whether it was time for him to retire or not, he got in his car and he drove all the way out to Palm Springs, because I was at a conference, to sit and talk to me about his thoughts, his concerns, and what I can share with you. His concerns were for the district. He had his, his own things he had to work through, but his concern was for the district and how he wanted to make sure he left it better. I can assure you that you did. You're one of my best friends at this organization. I'm happy for you, but I'm sad at the same time. Tammy, we're happy for you.
He might be a little sorry.
So I'm really, really proud and happy to be able to present this. I opened this up because I was going to start something new tonight with these retirement badges. But what I realized is my grandmother told me you never give anybody a wallet without putting $1 in it. Well, this is not a wallet. It's a badge thing. There's no wallet. There's no thing, so you don't get $1. But here you go. Say a few words, Art?
Oh, always. I can always say something.
Give him.
I'll be brief. I'll be brief. I had a farewell email. I don't know if everybody read it, but it's a big deal to leave. I have a lot of good memories, and this really has been an awesome place to work. I left someplace after 17 years to come here, guys, and I never regretted it. even though there was challenges. I never regretted it. So you're in a good place. Work hard to keep it that way, because it can get better, you know. We can make it better. But I appreciate things that people have done for me or been for me. One thing I can say, maybe don't think that we get a lot of interaction with our board, but I got to run into Sarah back in August when my mom had a stroke and I'm flying out to Idaho to go be with her. Happened to, you know, see her in the airport, and she prayed for my mom, she prayed for me. What a great example of what this place is like, that you can have a connection with people, you can have a spiritual, you know, backup with people here that's not maybe maintained or encouraged other places, but it's definitely encouraged here. Deputy Chief Alt, on the way to take my probationary one-year test, as we're driving in the truck company, he's praying for me out loud over the headset for everybody to hear, not worried about it. I mean, what a great example of what was to come, but what this place stood for. You know, having "In God We Trust" here in the lobby, that's no small feat to maintain that after all the challenges. But like I said, I could go on. I really do appreciate it. My wife's like, don't go on. It's tough to say goodbye, but it's great to have a life to live outside of here. So it's been good knowing everybody, working with you. Appreciate everything you guys have done for me. And we'll see what the future brings. All right, that's it. Should I flash my badge now? Let me hold it a little bit different. Appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate you for letting me. Yep. Thank you. Right on. Thank you. One last time.
Congratulations.
He does nothing small.
All right, with that, we're going to take a short recess. People want to take pictures, family pictures, and other photo opportunities, and we'll resume back at about 6:45. Thank you. The public hearing for properties declared for weed abatement is now open.
First item under public hearing is properties declared for weed abatement. Purposes for the public to comment on the declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement. The report tonight is by Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt.
Good evening, President Luth and members of the board. At our April board meeting, Resolution 2024-06 was adopted, allowing the fire district to issue notices related to weed abatement. Our initial spring inspections were conducted in early May, and based on regrowth from our re-inspections that were performed in June, additional properties have been found to be non-compliant. These additional noted property owners have been sent a notice outlining the actions they need to take, as well as the consequences for failing to act. In accordance with our resolution, we are to hold a public hearing allowing property owners to address the board on this matter. And with that, I'll read the recommendation. It's recommended that the Board of Directors review public comment on the declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement and subsequent actions and charges, as well as make any rulings on any and all objections raised regarding the proposed removal of weeds and said charges. This concludes my report.
Okay. Clerk of the board, do we have any public comments on this agenda item?
We have no written requests to speak on this item. Is anyone here present who would like to address the board on this item? Seeing none.
Okay, the public hearing is now closed. We have no action to take on this, is that correct?
Correct. Apologies for that delay.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is public communication. This is a time and place for the general public to address the Board of Directors about subjects that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. The public may address items on the agenda at the time addressed by the board. Due to board policy and Brown Act requirements, action may not be taken on any issue not on the agenda. When you address the board, please state your name and address prior to making your remarks, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. I have no written request to speak under public comments. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none. The next item on the agenda is liaison reports to Fire District, and we invite up Mayor Pro Tem Karen Comstock from the City of Chino.
Thank you, Angela. Good evening, President Luth, board members, chief and command staff. Thank you for allowing me to be here this evening to share some new relevant news for exciting upcoming events in the City of Chino. Chino Summer Nights, Kiwanis Summer Concerts on the Lawn. Things are heating up in Chino, which explains my shorts. And it's not just the temperature. Our fun and family-friendly summer movies and concert series continues this week on the Chino City Hall lawn. On Friday, July 12th, we will be showing the smash hit Super Mario Brothers movie. You can learn more by visiting cityofchino.org/movies, and be sure to bring your lawn chairs, blankets, and snacks, and of course your mosquito repellent. The Chino Kiwanis Club is also hosting free concerts every Thursday evening at the City Hall lawn. On Thursday, July 11th, the Latin R&B sensation Soto will be bringing some fantastic tunes to City Hall. To learn more about this year's lineup, visit cityofchino.org/concerts or the Chino Kiwanis Club website at chinokiwanis.com. Seniors at the Square. Of course, any summer night in Chino would not be complete without Seniors at the Square. So join us on Mondays from July 8th to August 12th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. for free fun and music and a dancing event held at Aguirre Square between C and D Streets on 6th Street. It's guaranteed to, the writer says, get your groove on. So bring your lawn chair and your favorite snacks and get ready to dance the night away. I cannot dance, so, anybody that can, there it is. So for more information, call the Senior Center at 909-334-3271. Cooling centers. It's been a hot week in Chino Valley, and cooling centers are open throughout the town for folks who want to beat the heat. Chino's cooling centers are located at the Neighborhood Activity Center, 5201 50D Street, and the Senior Center located at 13170 Central Avenue, and the Preserve Community Center located at 15800 Main Street. As temps reach the triple digits, we encourage the community to drink plenty of water, wear light and loose clothing, check in with older adults and family members, and limit your outdoor activity or exercise. That completes my report tonight. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. Excellent. Thank you very much.
And next we have present here Vice Mayor Art Bennett from the City of Chino Hills, who has indicated he has no report. Welcome. Thank you. Next, President Mark Bozak, Chino Valley Fire Foundation.
Good evening, President Harvey, Fire Board, members of the district. Pretty much the only thing we're going to mention is that we are sponsoring a Derby car for the Derby on the 20th. So we're hoping you guys can all be there. And other than that, that's all we have for you.
What kind of car do you have this year?
I believe it's a 64 T-Bird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know what it looks. I don't know what it looks like. Just so you know. I'm pretty sure it's not a nice one.
Rusted 60.
Yeah. So.
Before you go, Mark, I was going to put this in my comments later, but I was at a Kiwanis meeting and they were there. There was a group there talking about this inclusion community celebration. First time they've ever tried to do this in Chino, and they mentioned that the Fire Foundation was going to be involved. Just again, thank you for doing that. It's on the September 14th, but I appreciate again. We're getting involved in the community, very active, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anything comes up, you guys know who to call, and we can help out with anything you need. So, thank you.
And next, Chair Charlie Blank, Fire Safe Council.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. That concludes the liaison reports. The next item on the agenda is the consent calendar.
All right. Do we have any public comments on the consent calendar?
We have no request to speak on the consent calendar.
Okay. Do any board members wish to pull an item? Seeing none, I would request a motion.
Motion to approve.
second. Okay, we have a motion by Director Howie, a second by Vice President Ramos Evinger. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? No. Okay, item carries 5-0.
The next item on our agenda is new business, item number 9, resolution number 2024-12, adopting a records retention schedule and authorizing destruction of certain agency records. And the purpose of this report is for the Board of Directors to review and adopt resolution number 2024-12, approving the records retention schedule and records management and disposition policy for the Chino Valley Fire Independent District. Tonight, the report is by our records technician, Melania Arredondo.
Good evening, members of the board, management staff. In the district's ongoing efforts to enhance operational efficiency and ensure legal compliance, staff conducted a comprehensive review of records retention schedule and policy. Over the past several months, representatives from all departments reviewed the district's records retention schedule to ensure that all district records were captured and the schedule appropriately updated. The records retention schedule proposed for adoption tonight provides a comprehensive listing of records, description, retention periods, and applies current law and technology to the management of district records by identifying which department is responsible for maintaining the original record and by establishing clear retention periods for different categories of records. The district will realize operational efficiencies. Furthermore, the proposed resolution authorizes future administrative updates to the records retention schedule, as well as the routine destruction of records that have exceeded their adopted retention period with the written consent of the department head, fire chief, and the clerk of the board. District Legal Counsel has reviewed and approved the resolution, records management, and disposition policy, and all records retention schedules for compliance. I'll read the recommendation. It is recommended that the Board of Directors review, approve, and adopt resolution number 2024-12 and adopt a records retention schedule and records management and disposition policy for the fire district. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak on this item.
All right. Time for the board comments. Director DeMonico?
No questions.
Okay. Director Howie?
Yeah, just one quick one. For the records that are, sorry.
I'm sorry.
For the records that are being gotten rid of, are we keeping a digital copy of those, or they're just completely gone?
No, we've actually had Laserfish, so we keep,
So
digital copies of them.
So getting rid of the paper.
Correct.
Right. That's it.
Okay. Director Krieger?
No, it's a big project.
Yeah. Vice President Ramos Evinger?
Yeah, no questions. Thank you very much for all the hard work in the reports this evening.
I agree with Director Krieger. This looks like a big project, big undertaking. Thank you for all the work and everybody who participated in it. Thank you. All right. At this time, I'd like to request a motion.
Motion to approve?
I'll second it.
John? Okay. So we have a motion by Vice President Sarah Ramos Evinger and a second by Director John DeMonico. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, item carries 5-0.
The next item on the agenda is the CSDA Board of Directors election, ballot term 2025-2027. And the purpose is for the Board of Directors to confirm the fire district's desire to participate in the current CSDA Board of Directors election and cast a vote for one candidate for seat 8 in the Southern Network. Included in your agenda packet is the candidate information for the 3 candidates, incumbent Joe McKenzie of Vista Irrigation District, Jason DeForm of Valley Sanitary District, and Rod Leha of Hurupa Area Recreation and Park District. So the recommendation is for the board to confirm the fire district's desire to participate and cast a vote for one candidate for seat 8 in the Southern Network.
All right. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no request to speak on this item.
Okay. Time for board comments. Director DeMonico.
Yeah, I'd like to recommend Joe McKenzie for re-election to the Board of Directors of the CSDA. To the CSDA Board of Directors. Joe has been there for a while. Joe's done a really good job. I've known her for a long time and highly recommend her. So.
Okay. All right. Director Howie.
That's fine with me.
Okay. Director Krieger.
I've met Jo several times. She's doing a great job, so I agree with John.
Okay, Vice President Ramos-Levinger.
I agree. I serve with Joe on committees, and she does a great job.
Okay.
Definitely, Joe.
And I agree. Is that a motion,
Yeah,
Director DeMonico?
That is a motion.
Okay. And
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion by Director DeMonico, a second by Vice President Ramos-Evinger. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. Item carries 5-0.
The next item on our agenda is item number 11, contract amendment with PBK Architects. The purpose is for the Board of Directors to review and approve an amendment to the existing contract with PBK Architects in response to additional requirements associated with the construction of Fire Station 68 and find the amendment consistent with the district's purchasing policy. The report tonight is by Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt.
Good evening once again. As we are working our way through plan review with the City of Chino Hills, and our architect firm is working through modifying those plans, it's part of the normal process. There are certain conditions of approval that have been issued by the city that we need to be able to meet to move forward with the project. Two significant areas there that we bring before you this evening have to do with what we call off-site work. Essentially, this is modifying the existing intersection at Sokol and Pipeline. Specifically, there's work that needs to be done involving moving the crosswalk and revising the ADA ramps and a couple other things. And that's because of where the station ultimately is being placed on the property, like where the stations come, where the engines come and go through the driveway, disrupts the current crosswalk. In addition to that, one of the other conditions is, if you remember when we went through our procedure and process to develop the CEQA and our mitigated negative declaration, that's a process that talks about the things that we need to do on the site once we get into construction. Well, one of the things that was, as an example, for biological surveys for bird nesting, once we break ground, we need to have biologists on contract to be able to go out there and do the bird nesting surveys that were called for in the MND that we did. So back to the intersection or that off-site work. That off-site work is not part of our original contract with PBK Architects. That scope of work involved everything that was consisted of being on the property itself. The off-site work is considered a public works project or a public improvement, and that's off of the property. So because of that being off the property, we have to go back and revise our plan with PBK to include that new scope of work. That new scope of work includes some surveyors to go out there and survey the existing intersection and do some work to prepare what they call as-builts to do with some of the ADA ramps, et cetera. Also, a firm that would do some engineering with traffic study and to engineer what the intersection ultimately would look like. So some of the fees that you see reflected in the staff report reflect not only that new scope of work for the off-site, but also contracting back with the Chambers Group to do those other mitigation measures like the biological surveys, et cetera. And you'll see the fees that are associated with that. Some of them are hard costs that we know we can project ahead of time. Others are up to, as an example, if they have to go out there for a week to do biological surveys, and that's as long as they're needed, and they find nothing, then it's an hourly rate. But if they find something that we need to deal with, then that rate is pretty much a worst case scenario of what we might expect from that hourly rate throughout the groundbreaking and the grading process. So the provided quote is for an additional $169,159. In March 2022, the board originally authorized $781,000 and change for architectural work. Since then, the board's authorized an additional $121,500 in contract amendments for the addition of the essential resource facility and the additional apparatus bay, which brought the total up to $903,000, and that was previously discussed. With this amendment, the staff believes that PBK, this contract amendment, is consistent with the district's purchasing policy. In other words, we don't have to go out to competitive bid for this extra work because we had competitively bid for the project previously, and they've been serving consistently as our project architect. It's the additional scope of work that is requiring this additional. So we did budget $300,000 in the 24-25 budget for architectural work. essentially, and Director Shaker can help me with that, but because we didn't pay the architects the entire lump sum at one time, we budget for the particular budget year for what the costs that we anticipate paying them during that budget year. So we essentially have already budgeted 300 grand for this next budget year, and with that, we think that these costs can be absorbed with that already budgeted amount, but if a budget amendment is needed, we'll bring it back to the board as subsequent. With that, I'll read my recommendation. It is recommended that the board review and approve the contract amendment with PBK Architects in the amount of $169,159, find the action consistent with the district's purchasing policy, and grant the fire chief the authority to sign all documents to execute this contract amendment with PBK. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no request to speak on this item.
All right, time for board comments. Director DeMonico.
Yes, the $169,000, is that a fixed cost? Or
Portions of it are, and portions of it are hourly. So the breakdown right now is essentially, they're quoted $18,000 for a company called CivTech to do some of the surveying, $50,000 for KOA, which is an engineering corporation, and an additional $7,000 for PBK for the additional drawings. The Chambers Group has a basic service for $23,000 and change. That's the fixed part. The part that's flexible depending on how much time is needed is, we called it potential services in the quote, is about $68,000.
Then the second question is are we looking at adding any contingency on this? A lot of times when we do some projects, we have a contingency.
Correct. We have not included that specifically in this extra request for this quote, but of course we're open to the board's direction on that matter.
Also, if I may add, Director DeMonico, so unless Director Shaker feels differently because of the amount we budgeted this year, which is roughly another $150,000 or $140,000 on top of this, if that would satisfy the board's thought that that would be not necessarily contingency, but we do have additional monies but currently budgeted for this budget year to take care of some additional items, but just food for thought, but we'll take your direction.
And that's why I was asking the question too, because if we do have that money budgeted, it would, I think, would probably be prudent to add the contingency in now than to worry about it later.
Well, there's the potential services of $67,000 that's in there that I think that's more than enough, hopefully, for the flex if they go over the fixed amount.
So, Director Krieger, ultimately, if we were to go with the recommendation by Director DeMonico, ultimately, if the money doesn't get spent, then we still have it. So it's not, there's no negative, there's no downside necessarily.
Do you have any input on this, Mark?
Yes, so if we do add, let's say, a 10% contingency, which would, for this specific change order, so just a little under 17,000, that would help with the spending authority issue. So just because it's budgeted doesn't necessarily mean we have the authority to spend. Right. So having a small cushion of 17,000 helps with the authority from the board.
Okay. And that would help if there was a small adjustment beyond that. I wouldn't have to come back to you with another.
Right. Okay. Is that the end of your comments?
Yes, when it comes time, I'd like to make a motion to include a 10% contingency.
All right, Director Howie?
Well, I don't know, it was a $700,000 project, now it's over $1 million now we're spending. It seems like, don't tell them we have another $131,000 available on our budget. It just blows me away how these costs just keep going on and on and on. It's just crazy. I'm not crazy about the 10% contingency because I think this is enough. We've spent enough on this project now. It seems like we should be able to hold some of these costs in some manner. I mean, if we vote it, that's fine. But I just think these things just keep continuing to go on and on and on. And I guess initially when I saw this, I said an architectural firm, but you did a great job of explaining where all the money's going to all the different contractors. So I appreciate that, Jeremy. Breaking that up. It makes sense that you're just not giving architects more money every time they do a drawing or something and just go ahead and charge you. So I guess it is what it is.
Director Howie, if I may, I think for us, some of the challenges that we
I wouldn't say that we've continued to stumble across, but I think some of the challenges that have existed is just as we've gone through this process, many things are discoverable that we don't know. And I use CEQA as the really easy example of that, is to say that's a process that we know that we're required to go through, and depending on what they find, kind of dictates back to us that there might be, in this case, we're talking finances, or in some cases it may be a requirement to do something slightly different. So that's the sort of unfortunate thing about this process in some ways. So I just share that for food for thought.
No, I understand.
Okay. Vice President Ramos-Evinger.
No comment. I understand about the nesting and that, because we had to deal with some of that in the canyon when we were trying to abate some of the fuels over there. So we couldn't, there was dead prawns, trees that could not be removed because we had nesting birds in there. Even though they were a fire hazard, they cannot be touched. So I understand, don't necessarily like the increase in cost, but we have to take care of it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and I have no further comments, so Director DeMonico.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve with a 10% contingency.
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion by Director DeMonico, a second by Director Krieger to approve the $169,159 plus a 10% contingency. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, so that passes 5-0.
The next item on our agenda is item number 12, Fire Station 68 project and construction update. Purposes for the Board of Directors to provide the Board of Directors with an update and report of activities regarding the Fire Station 68 project and construction, and to discuss whether to seek proposals for professional project construction management services. The report tonight is by Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt.
Thank you. And once again, we'll just dovetail off of our previous conversation. I mentioned a bit of where we're at in the process. We're still working with the city. So even though it seems like it's been some time, we have still been working parallel tracks the whole time. We haven't finalized our plan review with the city yet. We've been working with our architecture firm and building and safety back and forth this entire time. Some of those conditions of approval we already had talked about. The intersection work, the off-site work. We also, because of the size of the station and the proximity to the neighbors essentially to the west, we're in the process of working with legal to obtain what we would call a temporary access easement or a use easement with the neighbors. So when it comes, there's going to be a significant amount of grading on this project because of the size of the acreage. And to fit the station, as you remember, the general topography slopes up towards the neighbors on that one side, kind of where we had the tent at the groundbreaking. So as we make a cut in that section to make room for the station, they actually have to go onto the neighbor's property to complete that grading. So we need to enter into an agreement with them to make sure we have permission and that we promise to leave it better than we found it, kind of a thing. Additionally, we have some work that we have to do for some drainage on that side of the project. All that involves us going through legal process to make sure that we have access agreements with the neighbors, and we're still going through these processes with the city. So that's a little bit of an update on where we're at with that. I would say it's fair to say we're approaching a transition phase. We're completing and we're near the end of the plan review process, and we are going to start moving into the phase where we go out to bid for our general contractor. So that's more to come soon. And because we're in this transition place, or we're nearing this transition place, we think it's a perfect time to talk about what we would call project management or construction management. And actually, Director Howie, I don't know if you realize that you actually just made my case as we were discussing the previous item. One of the significant things we're working our way through this significant public works project is that if we were a city organization, we would typically have an engineering department and a public works department. That as we would go out to do these public works improvement projects or CIPs, we would have those departments engaged with expertise. Well, we don't have resident engineers. You saw some get promoted tonight, but that's a different kind of engineer, right? So your staff has been diligent. We've continued to seek insight from industry experts. We've talked to both representatives from the cities. We've really engaged heavily in making sure we're on the right track. And one consistent feedback we've received is the necessity for construction management and project management. A lot of that has to do with the fact that, as you just saw with what we previously approved, we've had some measures come forward that now, for accountability, we need to take a look at the fact that our architect has to do more work, right? Like, we didn't necessarily see these issues coming, they came out of plan review. Back to the part where the cities have on-site expertise staff, what we found in talking to several cities around us, City of Chino Hills, City of Ontario, take Ontario for example, as robust as that city is, they actually have, even amongst their engineering and public works staff, they have a resident project manager for the city's public works projects. And even with that, the City of Ontario contracts with expertise for project management with other contract agencies for professional services. So the consistent advice professionally we've received is that we really need to look into and explore the options of having construction management and project management. And the way that I've oriented myself to understand it is that when we get to the phase where we hire a general contractor, we are going to have a general contractor and our architect. What would be, for the sake of accountability, for transparency, and general cost, we want to be able to really watch our costs. We need an owner representative between those two entities to make sure they're representing our issues and our needs and the costs. So as an example, when you enter the construction phase and they go to put, they follow the plans, but when you draw a set of plans, you can't foresee every single instance that comes up. So something may make sense on the plans, but when they go to build the wall, as an example, a pipe might not fit where they thought it would fit. So when the contractor starts to build it and something doesn't work, they'll send back what they call a request for information back to the architect. Now, the architect has to respond to that request and give direction, and this can go back and forth. Sometimes these things may lead to change orders. Change orders means money, essentially. Now, what we want to avoid is the situation where the contractor says something won't work and it's going to increase how much they can charge. And not that they would ever do this, but the theory, what we want to guard against is that the architects may be more than happy to have additional fees to address the, and potential back and forth with that. We believe that our architecture firm is up above board and doing great, but I think that level of accountability to represent us between the two with expertise will accomplish several things. First, it will minimize the number of those change orders. By minimizing change orders, we're going to save money by not incurring those extra costs. The second piece is they're going to really help keep everyone on task. If the contractor needs to change something and there's a delay in time from the architect and they can't proceed with the work, they'll continue to charge us without even doing the work. So we need to make sure that information with expertise goes back and forth between the architect and the contractor with good flow. In addition to that, thirdly, I say this big accountability piece is because it's a public works project, we need to be accountable as a district for all of the subcontractors and all the people that would be doing work on the ground to make sure that they're registered with the DIR and all the legalities that respond back to the labor issues that would arise on a site like that, because we can be audited. And again, we need that level of expertise. So I hope I've characterized what we're looking for. What we're looking for from you tonight is direction for us to go out and bring back to you essentially a list of qualified vendors that we can choose from. What this process would likely look like, and we've been doing our work the whole time to develop a draft of what we call an RFQ, or a request for proposals, for what could be termed as on-call vertical project and construction management. What this essentially would do is, at your direction, staff will go out and build an RFQ so that we can receive qualifications from professional vendors. And then once we determine that these vendors are qualified, then we can negotiate with them on essentially an hourly rate. That way, we're not going to look at a project cost overall. We're going to decide that there's qualified vendors. We can enter into arrangements actually with multiple vendors, because we may have additional public works projects in the past. Like if we need to do a remodel or something like that, we could have a list of vendors that we could then go to. We agree on a price, essentially, hypothetically, and then they would take a look at whatever project we need. In this case, it'd be the station, and they would essentially give us an hourly rate depending on what the work would be required at that time. So that's what we're looking for, is a discussion about that, to answer any questions, and finally to receive direction from you if you'd like us to move forward and bring back to you this process to move forward with project construction management. And with that, it's recommended that the Board of Directors review, discuss, and provide direction to staff. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have, oh yes, we do have one request to speak.
Art, you want the job?
I am not a civil engineer, but I will tell you that in construction projects like this, you need to have someone that's working as a liaison between the factions working. If you have an architect that comes up with plans that get approved by the city, and then the contractor starts constructing that, and you have city inspectors going out at every phase of the construction, signing off on the plans, if they're not built according to exactly to plan, then you've got major problems. So I think that it would be beneficial for the fire district to make sure that you have someone who is qualified. You may even be able to get some recommendations from the city of professionals that they have worked with that not necessarily make the reservation or the recommendation to you, but give you some people that you could interview. But I think that having someone as a liaison to work between all of the construction projects and disciplines, because not everybody has the exact expertise. And this is a way to save yourself headaches in the future. So I would highly recommend that you consider this so that you get it built right the first time according to plan, and that potential issues with the plan, the contractor looking at something that the architect has put together on paper isn't going to work. They can maybe smoke that out before it happens. It's much rather to do it right the first time than to have to redo it. So that'd be my recommendation.
Now it's time for board comments.
Yeah, just a couple of comments. I agree with everything that you said and everything that Art said. I think it's a really good idea. But when it comes to project management, I believe that there's also requirements. Do they do the auditing of the books to make sure that prevailing wages are paid and all those types of things?
Yeah, that's one of the key functions of that project and construction management, is their representative would be that person that essentially we're paying them as a professional consultant to make sure that's done right the first time.
Okay, that's the only question I had. Thank you.
I do have a comment on that. I think that is actually extremely important, given the fact that we have state funds allocated toward this project and potentially federal funds as well. So we don't want to miss the ball or miss the mark on that.
Okay, Director Howard.
Yeah, thanks, Art, for those comments. This is exactly what I've been thinking, and I'm sure the board pretty much agrees with those comments. And we've had a chance to meet with a couple of people who have given us pretty much the same recommendations regarding that. And you got to be careful. This is not a really easy project to do. And the fire district has always had the cities build their fire stations, so this is our first crack at it. We want to get it right. And Mark, I'm sure you'll be busy writing those checks and checking all those dollars pretty carefully from that standpoint. So I feel comfortable with the recommendation.
Okay. Director Krieger.
I don't understand why Jeremy can't do this.
I would love to be able to do this.
I think Jeremy would like to.
The cities hire outside people all the time. I've been involved over 25 years with many large construction projects. They all have an outside construction manager as the owner's representative that holds the general contractor accountable. They're the person on the phone saying, why isn't your trade here? They have the schedule that they've done to get everything lined up and to help minimize the change orders as much as possible. So I'm all for it.
Thank you. I know I'm joking saying that I would love to do it. In reality, as you mentioned, this is actually a trade. Yeah. This is actually a college degree path, and the reality is, to all the other previous points made, it may cost us a little bit more money on the front end, but what we want to avoid is exponential funds on the back end if we don't. And having someone who this is their professional expertise, I think, bridges the gap for us.
Director Krieger, I would love for him not to do it. Thank you.
Okay, so actually, Mayor Pro Tem Comstock gave me some fabulous feedback in regards to this subject, and it was in regards to the construction of the police station over there, and the definite need to have a project manager. In addition to, at the time, you had a full-time person overseeing the whole project in addition to a team. So I thank you for that, because it helped me understand the true need of us having it and the risks that we take by not proceeding with hiring someone at a professional level to handle that. So, yes, thank you.
Thank you. One of the things that's, I think was mentioned at some point in other conversations, the timeliness of being able to pay contractors and subcontractors could potentially lead to some discounts or some better rates for us. This could help with that as well, I understand.
Yeah, that's correct. So obviously, as a construction manager, project manager, they're going to be on site daily, and the ability to pay timely, at least my understanding from talking to many folks in the industry, is that if we're able to pay timely, and the benefit of being a district is we're a little bit more nimble than maybe a city or a larger government, and that will attract us, from the contractor, the general contractor's perspective, that'll attract the subcontractors to come in and get their work done for our project as opposed to maybe some other ones they're working on, because they're getting compensated in a much more timely manner. So there is that benefit.
The RFP that we're drafting, are we getting help to draft that, to make sure we understand what needs to be in there?
Right, so we have access to, right now we currently use a portal called Planet Bids that a lot of cities are using to draft these documents. So right now I've put together a significant portion of a draft. We also have access to industry experts, and also there's legal part of the team back at BBK that deals specifically in construction contracts. So that's our plan, is to continue to build that with oversight from legal to make sure we put together the package to get the right, we want to get it right the first time, not only just in the construction, but how we choose our project manager.
And we've been very, very fortunate, President Luth, that we have, I think primarily because of the reputation of our organization, that we've had some industry leaders really have a desire to help us because they care about the organization, not necessarily at a cost. And we stay away from certain things, but we've had a tremendous amount of interest in helping us make sure that we get the right product out there so we can solicit the right folks.
I was just going to comment to that. I know one of the people you've been talking to, I know, and I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great resource, and yeah, that kind of input I think is valuable to us. So yeah, I agree with the need. So
President Duke, can I just approach the board with just a couple comments on that?
Sure, I'll be open.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for reopening the public comment. I think Vice President Ramos Evanger said it best during a discussion with one of our just mutual meetings between the district and the city of Chino is we do. I mean, one of the best capital improvement project managers that we had on staff at the city of Chino for many years was a gentleman by the name of Michael Coling. And his expertise brought forward just a lot of oversight on some of these projects that we built. And one of them was one of the largest scale ones we did. You know, one of the last projects in the redevelopment agency budget for us was actually the Chino Police Department, which was constructed throughout the year of, most of the year of the end of 2011 into 2012. We moved into that building in 2012. The challenge you have now with this type of project is these buildings and these facilities are built to all new standards, completely different standards. In fact, most people don't even know that the Chino Police Department was built to LEED standards, even though it was never certified. There's a lot of things that go into this, and you're correct. You're in a unique position, as Director Krieger said today. You don't have some of this expertise here, and even if you did, there is benefit into having a project manager that is seeing all these different trades, as Deputy Chief Alt has already spoken about. You guys are all spot on the right track. It's expensive, but the other thing is you do have to have a member of your staff also. It's kind of the checks and balances of what's happening here, that these people are delivering on the project that you've asked them to produce as well. And some of these trades, it will come as a surprise to you because of the bidding process, is they'll want to take shortcuts. You have to understand what is being delivered on, which is where some of your staff expertise is going to have to come into this. So it's a huge project. What I like to say, from my perspective on this and my experience is either you build it nice or you build it twice. And it's always more expensive to build it twice than to build it nice and right the first way. So those are my comments.
I'd just like to add one comment on that. With Michael, I believe he was the project manager in Station 17 in the training center.
Correct. Yeah. And Michael was good, you're right.
President Luthen, and I want to let you know that staff and I, primarily Deputy Chief Alt and myself, have been discussing not just this part of the project, but the need to have regular ongoing meetings between the staff here, if we get approval for this today, whoever that company or individual would be, and my commitment is to be out as frequently as appropriately possible, just to visit the site and making sure that they see us there and that they understand our commitment and what our desires are.
All right. No other comments? I look for a motion.
I'll motion to approve.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
John first. So we have a motion by Vice President Ramos Evinger, a second by Director DeMonico. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item carries 5-0.
The next item on our agenda is item number 13, IT infrastructure replacement. Purpose is to discuss the issuance of a purchase order to
Logicalis.
Thank you, Logicalis Inc., in the amount of $150,415.11 to purchase replacement networking equipment for the stations, security firewalls for the district, and professional services to assist with the migration to the new equipment. The scope also includes a $9,000 contingency for services based on hours if needed, resulting in a total of $159,415.11. The report today is by Senior IT Support Analyst Chris Roberts.
Good evening, President Luth, members of the board. So I kind of like to take you through this roadmap I have here. So I've included some documentation that shows the equipment that we'll be replacing here as part of our first phase. So the IT department kind of reviews this equipment and makes recommendations based on a 6 to 10 year replacement life cycle. The reason for this, or that this equipment gets replaced, and it's dictated by end-of-life notices and product support and warranties by the manufacturers. So some other things that dictate the replacement is the district's growth and technology changes. As you're aware, technology changes rapidly, and one easy example is your cell phone, right? The speeds of your cell phone, the towers change. If you're staying on that old cell phone, it does not keep up to the speeds of the towers. So that could have a big play with replacing some of this equipment, along with security as well. Granted, this equipment will still work. Like I mentioned, it's not supported by the vendors, so we'll become vulnerable to different security attacks. We will not be able to apply the fixes and patches to be protected as a district. So there's a roadmap that kind of outlines all this equipment and shows the plan to replace it. So I have a quote here for the equipment and services for the project. It was requested through Logicalis, utilizing the CMAS contract, which is California Multiple Award Schedule. This contract helped us to avoid the bidding process, if you will, because they're approved vendor through the state. So all the pricing's kind of pre-negotiated, which is great and helpful, because as we work with these partners and invest time with them to develop these quotes, we have a relationship with them, so we could get the predetermined price, and we don't have to go out to bid and then narrow it down. So this vendor or partner has been narrowed down with us, and we've used them in the past, and the pricing actually meets the competitive bid requirements as part of the district's purchasing policy to avoid that. So let's see here. So copies of the quote are included in the roadmap. I do want to point out, just for clarification, on the quote, there was a typo based on the unit price. So the unit price you see on here is actually correct versus the list price. So just want to point that out on page 156 of the agenda. So
157.
uh,
I got it.
yes, I have 156, but yep. So just wanted to point that out. So with that said, it's recommended that the Board of Directors review the proposed IT infrastructure replacement purchase and provide direction to the staff.
Okay, do we have any requests to speak?
We have no request to speak on this item.
It's time for board comments. Director DeWine.
Fire chief's comments.
No, we're still
No,
on.
we're still on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have no comments.
Ready to go
No
home,
brain
huh?
fade there.
Director Howie.
I got ahead of myself.
Yeah, it's nice to see a less than a 10% contingency factor. Thank you for that. It was only 6%.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
feeling
not going to tell
much
them
better
about
now.
it. I'm not going to tell them about it. So
Don't tell them?
no, I'm not going to tell them about it. So it's back there just as a protection. So
Good. Well, make sure that this equipment isn't obsolete in 30 days or anything like that, okay?
8 years.
That's all I got.
Chris, what is this, does this help us with, I know that you have a project of going on the cloud for a lot of the stuff. Is this part of that? Migrating away from our internal servers to external for security purposes, or does it really have nothing to do with that?
Nothing to do with it really, but I'd say from the district's growth, I mean, this equipment is, so part of the equipment are the security firewalls for the district. So these newer firewalls will leverage the faster internet speeds that we've increased to, so will help that internet traffic. This network switches, I will say, not light switches, but network infrastructure switches at the stations we're replacing. These are actually now cloud managed, if you will. So there is a management platform that they're connected to the cloud for management, part of new technology that eases management and upgrades, if you will. So, yeah, but it's not, I mean, nothing else is changing with the cloud. This is technically just hardware.
Okay.
But
Good enough. Thank you.
Okay, no, we definitely need to stay on top of this and ahead of the times because we do not want to have any security breaches. We know some departments who have, and it has caused them a lot of pain. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, I agree. We need to take every step, every precaution we can possibly take. And I've also learned over the years, when the IT director comes to you and says we need some, don't mess with them, because bad things happen to your PC. So, totally in some favor of this one. All right, with that, I will look for a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Krieger, second by Vice President Ramos Evinger. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, item carries 5-0.
thank you.
Thank you.
Fire Chief Dave Williams. Your comments, please.
Thank you, President Luth. Under Board Activities and Public Relations, on June 21st, several board members and staff members graciously accepted a check from Assemblymember Phil Chen for Station 68 project. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't also mention the presentation tonight by Assemblymember Fred Rodriguez. And so thank you to the union for their support and their work on that effort. And thank you to all staff and to the board members who made trips to DC and Sacramento to make that happen for our district. On June 29th, staff and board members attended the Assemblymember Fred Rodriguez open house event. On July 3rd, command and administrative staff along with board members attended the Chino Police Department Walk of Honor retirement event for Deputy Chief Andy Bialyand. What a good man. They don't make many like him. He's a man of his word, and he's very quiet, but just extremely thoughtful. So we're going to be a big loss for Chino PD and one of our partners. On July 3rd, board members, community risk reduction staff, and I attended the Chino Hills Independence Celebration at Veterans Park. Was a fantastic showing. The park was packed to capacity from what I can tell, and what a great event. Under organizational items of interest, on July 13th, Chino Valley Fire District hosted a quarterly meeting with the City of Chino Hills. On June 19th, The Chino Valley Fire District hosted a quarterly meeting with the city of Chino. On June 25th, Deputy Chief Alt attended the Confire JPA meeting. On June 27th, the command staff and I attended the San Bernardino County Fire Association meeting held in Big Bear. I'd never been up there before to that event. What a really neat place. You go up on the ski lifts and you conduct a meeting at the top. So a little bit of a drive, but kind of a neat place to get up there and meet with your counterparts and discuss the future of the county. EMS Nurse Parham has returned to district after an extended time assisting Confire with their development and startup of the ECNS program. So we're really happy to have Leslie back helping us continue to move things forward. Under Human Resource Update, the internal recruitment for Deputy Fire Marshal closed. 4 applicants applied. Interviews were held today and are still ongoing into the next steps. Ashley Guzman, the new administrative assistant, started on July 8th. You had the chance to meet her tonight. And even without her being here, again, I've had 2 meetings with her. My initial read is just extreme professionalism. So I think we got seems like highly capable and professional. So super excited to have her join the ranks and help us carry things forward. Under emergency response and support, all personnel have received the biannual CPR training. Just kind of reflects and makes me look at Bill Heitman, and it's good to see Bill looking good and attend the event tonight. Chino Valley Hazardous Materials team participated in training with the San Bernardino County Hazmat Responders Association. The new Recruit Academy, as you met the gentleman tonight, is still in session, will be completed on July 25th, and then they'll receive their assignments. Department-wide alternative fuels fire safety training in collaboration with Waste Management on compressed natural gas is currently being conducted for the month for all personnel. Additionally, Battalion Chief Fontes will provide hazardous materials training at Chino Ice. So it's a fairly significant hazard that we have in the northwest end of our district due to refrigerants and things at that facility. So those are one of those locations that you need to regularly train on to have a good understanding of what the hazards are there so that we don't go in there and get someone killed. So thank you to Chief Fontes for leading that. 4th of July recap, working with local law enforcement, we were able to confiscate 310 illegal fireworks and those that were safe and sane that were being used in non-permitted areas. 59 citations were issued and $1,000 fines were issued to those in possession of illegal fireworks. Fire district responded to 13 fires resulting from fireworks, and we responded to 1 EMS injury from firework-related incident. Upcoming meetings and events. August 6th will be our National Night Out, so we'll coordinate with board members on your desires and locations. August 13th through the 16th, myself and several of you and some staff will be in Dallas for the FRI conference. We're looking forward to that. In September 9th through the 16th, we'll be at CSDA, and returning back on September 11th for our annual recognition of September 11th. Under Confire items of interest, Confire is continuing to work towards the process of securing a new director. And then I had a chance to report already, but for the public's purview, the judge did take note of the case on July 9th. The judge indicates that he will continue to review the case and likely make a ruling prior to the end of August. And so what I'm referring to is our desire to move forward with our ambulance contract as awarded by the county. Obviously, the current vendor believes it should remain with them. So a case was filed in court, and so it's being heard to determine and make certain that all the policies and procedures were followed appropriately and that we can continue to move forward and take over services and provide those to our community. And that ends my report.
Thank you. Time for board comments, Director.
Now it's time.
Now
it's okay. I heard board comments and my mind just went somewhere. I just got ahead of myself and apologize for that. But anyhow, I did attend the IEUA board meetings and San Bernardino Board of Supervisors meetings. Had a CSDA Ledge Committee meeting, and a lot of the focus and a lot of things have happened since, but it's been the state budget and what's gone on with that. I'm sure we've all had our fill of that. Did have my monthly meeting with the fire chief. really want to appreciate our legislators and attended, receiving the check from Philip and Freddie, or Assembly members Chen and Rodriguez, but they're close enough. I call them Freddie and Phil, and they call me John. So happy about that, but really glad that we have the support up there, as well as Kelly Ciartro to get us the $6.25 million for the fire station. That's incredible, and just really happy that everybody did what they did to help secure that, and that they were great partners in getting that for us. Do have a question about 4th of July, and it has to do, and Karen, listen up. The $1,000 fine. That $1,000 fine has been $1,000 for probably 20 years or more. Has there been any thought on talking to our partner agencies about increasing that? I brought that up last year, and okay. Because now the daily limit at an ATM is $1,000.
As Karen's walking up there, I will just say that I got word last week that I hope I don't misspeak, I want to say Corona has elevated theirs to 5,000. So
that's where I thought it should go too. It's supposed to be a deterrent, not a profit making.
I think there's two schools of thought on this. I've seen it from a bunch of different perspectives. I've seen big neighborhood parties that are having illegal fireworks, and they basically go around to all their friends and collect $50 or $100 and say, hey, if I get caught with the fine tonight, this is the pot, to pay the bill. And then I see perspectives from people where I've actually seen people get these tickets, and it's a hardship upon them to pay them. We put people on payment programs when they do this. There are agencies out there who have increased those fines to $25, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I think it's a matter of how ordinances are written. Our ordinance is written that this fireworks violation is actually a misdemeanor, and there is some legislative clause that comes into that where for a misdemeanor fine, you are either sentenced to a short term of imprisonment or a fine not to exceed a certain amount of money. So I think that is both a committee policy and suggestion to any entity that wants to consider that. I know there's a lot of agencies out there that have moved those to higher amounts. I think that is something for every city that hosts fireworks for their commissioners to decide if they want to advance that. We've gotten some legal advice on that. It does kind of run the gamut. I don't know if that's changed in the last couple of years because I have been retired for a few years, but certainly if the city of Chino wanted to consider changing that, what I will do, Director Monaco, is I will ask our city manager to ask our commission to look into it. They do a comprehensive after-action report after every fireworks event. The information about the citations and the operation will go to the Community Services Commission, and I can ask them if it's time for us to look into that fine, if it's still appropriate for today's day and age. But I've seen people come in and ask to be put on payment programs. The other thing is, really the question is how many of those do we collect on? We do our best to get social security numbers and information, and our ability to collect on them at different times is, it's fairly successful, but we don't collect on every single fine, quite frankly. So I hope that explains it. I don't know if I made it worse or better, but what I will do, Mr. Director DeMonico, at your inquiry is ask for the commission to consider if that's something we need to reconsider moving forward. Is the fine still appropriate for today's day and age and the operation?
Well, and mostly the fines are for illegal fireworks.
That they are solely for illegal fireworks. Is a $500 fine, I believe, for using fireworks in unpermitted or unauthorized locations such as parks or in certain parts of the town. And then there's also, of course, fines for taking the safe and sane fireworks and modifying them illegally.
And then my only comment about going on a payment plan, if they have to go on a payment plan, then they spend all their money on fireworks.
Yes, that's.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot or argue.
Yeah.
I just have my concerns that as the fire district, we are opposed to illegal fireworks, especially being adjacent to Chino Hill State Park and some of our wildland fire areas. Yeah. That they can cause significant damage to property or lives or whatever, and also cost us a significant amount of money to combat those types of incidents when they occur by illegal fireworks. And I just think that my personal feeling is that the fine has been $1,000 forever, and times have changed. My bank, I can get a $1,000 daily limit. That's not a big deal anymore. $1,000 isn't what it was 20 years ago. And should we be changing with the times and make it more time appropriate for what that fine should be? And obviously, we want to discourage the use of illegal fireworks. So I'll get off my soapbox.
Hey, Director Montague, you're correct. At that fine, that amount has been set at that amount for many years. I will ask the commission to review that as part of the process. You know, there is a term of the law called a deterrence, right? There has to be a deterrence to doing things, but you know, we have a death penalty. We have some of the highest fines for DUIs in the state of California, and every weekend there are hundreds of people in the state of California that are arrested for DUI. I think the fine has to be a balance of a proper deterrent and something where, but I tell people, hey, let's not forget this as a firework, right? Sometimes you have people who will be written citations for possession of small amounts of narcotics or even marijuana, and those fines can be significantly less than possession of a firework on that evening. So there is a perspective on them, but I think you stated correctly, Director, that fine has been set at $1,000 for a lot of years, and I will have the commission look into it as part of their review. Not a problem. I think it's timely, and I think it may be helpful for our fine to be increased to help provide maybe a little bit more incentive or a deterrence for people who are on the bubble about wanting to light fireworks.
That's all I can ask. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
And trying to get back on my first page here because I want to welcome Ashley to the district, and glad to see that, and all our new hires. 7 new hires. Probably going to be starting another exam here soon, Anthony.
We will.
Yes, we'll be hiring more, and then we'll have Station A coming on board, so we're growing. Congratulations to Arnie on his retirement. That's a big step to retire, and he said that tonight. So if I'm not mistaken, he's got about 34, 35 years in total between Montebello and here. And congratulations to Engineer Farnsworth, Haddad, and Ryan, and also congratulations to Captain Pope and Wofford. So with that ends my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Director Howley.
Thank you, Harvey. Again, also I'd like to congratulate our new hires and their promotions and our retiree. In the last three and a half weeks, I attended a couple of Chino City Council meetings. Always exciting over there in Chino. I was at Phil Chin's check presentation, meeting with the chief. I attended the fireworks show in Chino at Ayala Park. That was well attended. It was getting a little warmer, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad, and that's always a great event with so many people continuing. Also was at Andy Bielen's retirement. That was great. He did a really good job. His walk was kind of interesting because usually when the police come out of the station for their last walk, they shake hands. They take about 5 minutes to get through. Andy just sort of, all of a sudden I turned around and he was done and going inside.
Post-COVID protocol.
Huh?
Post-COVID protocol.
Yeah. He was really, but that was really a nice event and very well liked. And congratulations to Captain Murata, who's now the new deputy chief. So I know Nick well. I know he'll do a great job as deputy chief, and it was pretty exciting, I guess, last Wednesday when they had all the promotions at the PD. So that's always exciting for them. I survived the 4th of July that night at home with my dogs and my wife, and it was wild and crazy. We had the usual fireworks show that was almost as good as Ayala Park. And it's crazy. I'm sure, I don't know how many illegal fireworks are shut off in Chino Hills. I'm sure there's got to be a few, and they don't even allow safe and sane. So I'm sure as long as Chino allows safe and sane, it's going to encourage people to shoot off illegal fireworks because it's basically close to a war zone. And all of our personnel that work that, along with all the PD, I mean that's a crazy night. But I don't know how I think we looked at it a few years ago to increase those fines to $2,500 and $5,000, and we just sort of backed away. The city did maybe 5 or 6 years. We looked at that a little bit, and probably good to look at it again. But I don't know if it's going to deter. I mean, some of these people go out and spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on those fireworks. So they're thinking, what's another $1,000? I already spent $3,000 or $5,000 on these fireworks.
And then that much more in alcohol.
Well, probably more in alcohol from that standpoint. But, yeah, I guess the 4th of July is the 4th of July. And I guess I heard in LA is just as bad in Los Angeles, maybe worse than Los Angeles. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. It's going to be, it's always a tough one. So that's all I have.
All right, Director Creed.
All right, I as well want to say congratulations to everybody that got promoted, our new hires, and to Arnold for his retirement, much well deserved. I attended school board meeting, Chino Hills meetings, met with the chief. Attended the 4th of July event in the city of Chino had at Ayala Park. Always a great time. Really enjoy that. And attended the Chino Hills 4th of July celebration on the 3rd of July that they had. And with that, I want to say happy birthday to Director DeMonica. And that's it for me.
39. All right.
39.
We're almost at it.
39, John? 39. All right. How many anniversaries of the 39th? No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. So I want to welcome Leslie back. Super excited to have her back into the district and have her working again and for us and working on the district's goals. Welcome Ashley and our academy. It was nice that we got to introduce them to the city of Chino Hills, and I believe they're off to Chino soon as well for introduction. And all of our promotions tonight, and Arnie, he just has a very special place in my heart. And I was sad to hear of his retirement as well, but I'm really happy for him to be moving on to a little relaxed part of his life, and wish him and his family the very, very best. I want to thank everyone for all their hard work on the 4th of July. I know a lot of work in preparation with all of the 4th of July stands and all the inspections. I know a lot of people have worked a lot and still working, some 72 hours. You know, there's a lot that goes on during this time, and I appreciate the dedication of the district in handling our situation with that. I think I heard in Chino Hills, I think I finally was able to fall asleep about 1:30 a.m. because there was fireworks going on all night long. I had an agenda review meeting. Everything was on tonight's agenda. Couple city of Chino Hills meetings, meeting with the chief, our quarterly meeting with Chino. I attended the Wildland Urban Interface meeting, representing the Fire Safe Council and presenting to the city of Brea. So nice collaboration on that. We had a special meeting. The check presentation from Philip Chen. I want to, John, like you said, thank all of our legislators because that money is definitely needed for the construction and for the districts to continue to serve our community. And first time I've missed the city of Chino. I was babysitting my grandsons, but I did attend the city of Chino Hills Independence Day celebration. And Chief, congratulations on being our Rotary President, starting July the 1st. So it was July the 1st, right? Yeah. Yes. You took over. Yeah, July the 1st. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how not to be able to log in so I could keep Tom, but he didn't have it. He forced me into it, so.
Alrighty. John, happy birthday at the end of the month, and I want to wish my granddaughter a happy first birthday. We celebrated her first birthday, and happy birthday, Lila. And that's all. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. Yeah, a number of events. We had a Chino Hills quarterly meeting, attended the ASBCSD meeting. They did a nice presentation on using native plants. I don't know what our landscape plans are, but there's a resource there, possibly. Chino Council meetings, Chino quarterly meeting, the check presentation, special board meeting. Friday and Saturday for the Chino fireworks program. And yeah, that was a great fireworks show. Let's see, agenda meeting. What is this? Chino Hills 4th on the 3rd. Attended that. Freddie's open house on the 4th, and again, we have people there cooking, again, involved in the community. It's so awesome to see, and I know Freddie appreciated it a lot. He made a comment to me about it. On the 8th, met with the chief, and I want to welcome all our new hires and Ashley in the office here, all our promotions, and the retirement of Captain Arnold. As always, it's just awesome to hear the comments as people are leaving here and how they felt like they were treated and how they view this place to work. So very, very nice to hear what he had to say. The only other thing I would mention is this Friday is the Junior Fair and Auction. It's going to be at Bringerson Hall. They have if you like to have deep pit pig or beef, they have it in boatloads. So $8, that's it. It's a deal. So come on down and come see what's going on there. It's a fun night, and you don't have to stay for the whole auction. You just come for the dinner. And with that, I think that's all of my comments. So the meeting will be adjourned to a special meeting of the Board of Directors of the Chino Valley Independent Fire District to be held on Monday, August 5, 2024 at 4 p.m. at the Fire District Administrative Headquarters located at 14011 City Center Drive, Chino Hills, California, 91709.